Hey guys, it's Wavejump here, and welcome back to the command block tutorial series. Today, this is episode 5, where we are going to be covering Selectors. Episode 1, we covered Tell, Raw, Execute, and Title. Episode 2, we covered Fill Block. Episode 3, we covered Summon, Entity, Data, and Effect. Episode 4, we covered Block, Teleport, and TP. And this episode, we are covering Selectors. Next episode, we will be going over Scoreboard along with whatever else you guys want to learn. Because it goes well in hand with this episode. But anyways, I will also stress there will be a couple selectors I am not covering in this episode, as it is a beginner command block tutorial, but it's only about like 3 or 4 of them. So anyways, what selectors are at P. Well, the basic ones are at P, at R, at A, and at E. So at P is nearest player, at A is all players, at R is a random player, and at E is every single entity. So if you have seen my previous videos, you may notice that I've used these before. So for example, say at E, R equals 3, and you may be wondering what the heck that means. So you're going to be going over every single one in this episode, and yeah, so actually most of every single one. And we have a couple to go through. Every command block here represents one selector, except for this one. This has the final ones I forgot to cover in the other ones. But yeah, we're just going to go straight through these, and hopefully this will be an informational video that you'll be able to go through in the future if you ever need to learn about selectors. Alright, so first one is at E, type equals. So, oops, that should be type equals exclamation mark player. So type equals exclamation mark player prints every entity that is not a player. So at E, type equals exclamation mark player, it prints everything but me. So that is a very, very helpful command if you want to affect everything but entities. By the way, of course, it doesn't necessarily require say, but yeah, also, and without the exclamation mark, it prints all entities that are players. Sorry for that little mix-up there, but we'll just continue on here. So yeah, at E type equals player means I'll print all entities that are players. At E, team equals. So the team equals prints 2 nearest entities on example team. Sorry guys, for some reason it looks like the command blocks got changed a little bit. But anyways, so first off you have teams. So scoreboard teams is a command you could use, and if I go ahead and check scoreboard teams, and I list the teams, we have all these entities in example team. Whereas it's only going to list the 2 nearest ones, which are Wavejump Games and the Librarian, which is up over, well, it was up over there. It must be over on the other platform then. But anyways, yeah, so that's a very helpful command. So team equals and C equals. And so yeah, you could just use team standalone. So at type equals example team, it prints all entities on example team. And if I do C equals 2, that shows the 2 closest entities. C equals -1 is a very interesting one. So this shows the single farthest entity, and I could do -2, -3, whatever. But it's pretty interesting. So C equals 1 shows the single nearest entity, because if I drop a button there, which is now the closest, it shows I am about to hold up a button. Anyways, we'll move from right to left here. So you will see that you could actually go ahead here, and I may have actually done this one wrong, but you could essentially go ahead and set coordinates using this command. So let me see if I add radius, maybe it'll work. Yeah, so basically if you do XYZ and then R, then it'll print all entities at exactly 1, 1, 1. So TP 1, 1, 1. Actually, you know, if I just do set block 1, 0, 1 stone, and then I place a block on top of it, then there's now an entity on 1, 1, 1. So theoretically, if we run this command now, and I think this was the one, yeah, you'll notice it prints the button because that is at 1, 1, 1. Alright, so we are going to move on here. So yeah, R equals 3. So R equals is radius. So this is a radius of 3 blocks. So if I throw a button over there, it'll only show 1 button because, oops, that one. Yeah, anyways, it'll print every player in a radius of 3. Because I didn't use that E, I used that A. So that one is a bit different there. This one, so there are commands like DX, DY, DZ. We're not covering this because they're a bit more complicated, and they're not exactly beginner. Anyways, this is one of the most helpful ones. So this is scores. So if I go scoreboard object, so you'll notice actually, in the list here, my score for my objective is 1. So because my objective score is a minimum of 1, it'll print me out, which is right here. If I run this one, this will print it if it's no more than 2. So it's kind of a max thing. So it'll also print me, and yeah. So you could also have tags. So scoreboard tags, scoreboard players tag. I go ahead and add tags to things. So if I just give it to every entity. So let's give every entity my tag. And now if we run this, you'll notice it prints everything versus just me. And the last things we are going to be covering are m equals and name and type. I think we already went over type, but m equals and name equals are very helpful. So first off, m equals select certain game modes. So if I were to say at m equals 0, well, nobody is in game mode 0, but I am in game mode 1. I don't know if you could use, yeah, so you also could use C, SP, and S, but 0 to 3 is what's usually used because people are used to those. You could also do everything with the name, so i.e. name is, say I were to do everything with the name Bob, nothing is named Bob. But if we go ahead and grab a spawn egg and an anvil and name this creeper Bob, just like, oops, let's fix that. So if we name this creeper Bob like so, you will now notice when we run this, it'll go ahead and mention this Bob right there, whereas otherwise it would just say nothing. So, and type again, so you could add exclamation marks in most of these, by the way, to make them do the opposite. So we're going to kill all entities where the type is not player. Bam. You'll notice it killed basically everything except for me, whereas if I were to just do it type equals player, then, well, I'm dead now. So, those are most of the command block selectors. I did not mean to take a screenshot there. And if you guys want to know more about any of these, if I remember, I will link the forum posts with all of these down in the description below. And of course, if you want to see another command featured, just let me know down in the description, or in the comments, sorry. And if you need help on any of them again, you could also just go ahead and comment. I'm trying to help anybody who comments on my video about a command block error. And yeah, because many times a lot of people have errors where they just simply, say for example, put the selector in the wrong place, so it won't work. So one last thing I'm going to go over before we end off here is specifically execute and that in selectors. So what you do essentially, if I were to go just execute at E, blah blah blah, say at E, well it's, oops, that was not what I meant to say. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, but say I wanted to execute a command at entity, I could add selectors on both, say the say at E part, so I could say type equals player, or if I want to do, so that's specifically for that command itself, but if I want to affect just the person who, just figuring out who is executing it, then that goes on the first part of the execute command. So that was something that someone had a misunderstanding of before, so I figured I would cover it just in case. So anyways, guys, I think I could finally wrap up this episode here. Not sure, oh, that's the wrong control, that's why I'm not moving. By the way, guys, this is my first day on my new setup, so I am getting a bit used to where I am. But yeah, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, go ahead and leave a like down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope you haven't you have guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.